So little Mazda's all cleaned up, had a photo shoot up for sale, and I think we've actually ended up turning out a really nice looking little car, guys. So we're going to park the Hyundai up for a bit because I want to crack on little Mazda too. But so little Mazda, put it on Facebook Marketplace. Hour later, had a message, can we pop round and see it? Put it on for $14.95. Chap came round, took it for a test drive, said let me go away and think about it for a minute. Hour later I get a message saying will you take $12.50 for it? I said no chance. Then he said will you take $1,400 for it? I said no, I'll split the difference for you, $14.50. So we agreed a deal at $14.50. He made a bank transfer straight away and he's picking up this is this morning, the following day, so he's picking up this morning. So who would have believed it sold that quickly, eh? Really quick sale there. But then, to be fair, like I say, now it's a really smart looking little car and it drives fantastic. And I went through what we did on it. As normal, didn't seem to be particularly interested. You make all that effort and they're kind of like, yeah, whatever. Obviously I hadn't really looked at the MOT history side of it, but I explained when I bought it, the only MOT advisory was that it was very crusty underneath, and explained what I did, but to be honest, didn't seem to be that bothered about it. Because at the end of the day, people are a bit like magpies, aren't they? It's shiny, it looks nice, it drives well. That's what they were interested in. And I also had someone pop by and see the mint Fiat 500 yesterday. That's the customer's car, isn't it, that's up for sale. They're dealing directly with the customer, but they've agreed a deal on that and they're picking that up today as well. I charged my customer £300 to market it and deal with inquiries and all that kind of stuff. So I get £300 out of that end of the deal. So not a bad day. I think on the numbers, again we'll go through them in detail, but I think on those numbers we make about 450 quid out of the little Mazda, maybe 400 quid after some other odds and sods. And like I say, we had about a day cleaning and tidying that up, so that wasn't a bad little deal. So we're gonna have some space. This one, I haven't had much interest in the i10. I need to remarket the i10 again. We're going to try and get the Hyundai i20 completed today, so that can be up for sale. I've got those two other cars arriving, so I'll have that, the Panda, the Igo. Still got the Corsa, still got the Dacia. The Corsa really surprises me. I'm well under book on that. It really surprises me. And I had the idea of putting AR car sales number plates on it when I advertised it in the picture, so it doesn't actually show the 51 plate because it's actually 13, isn't it? Maybe in case that was putting people off slightly, but no interest at all. The Dacia, like I say, that's a real sticker. That's well under book. I mean, every site I've got it on now says it's a low price. You've got, you know, good price, great price, low price. It all says low price. They all say I'm like £800 under book on that car. Still no interest at all. But so I need to really probably find a couple more cars actually to make sure I'm fully stocked. Still no word on the premises, guys. Excuse me. Still no word on the premises yet. I'm really struggling to find someone. I really badly want to have my own premises to expand the business. And obviously the landlord's been very patient allowing it to carry on for the moment, but that won't last forever. So I really do need some help sorting that out. So I got the i20 in now, checking out why this window isn't working. Got the door card off. Interestingly, the electric window isn't plugged in. So I've grabbed the camera quickly before I plug it in. Let's find out why they disconnected it. Oh, it's doing something. So it's okay to there, and it's doing something funny there, falling off itself. So it's got to be something to do with the. Oh, it seems to be right if you do it there. So it's got to be something to do with the runners or the connection of the glass to the frame. So I need to check that out. On the front edge here, it seems to be running on the outside. You can't quite see it. Running on the outside of the guide, not the inside of it. So I've got to get the glass out and reseat it in the runner. There you go. There's our two 10 mils to get the glass off the runners. This one probably needs to go back up. That probably is a bung there to allow you to get to the bolt. But we'll get the front one out first, and then get the bung out and get that back one. So we've got it in the vise, excuse a bit of grease on the camera, and straighten that out somewhat. So we'll get it back in the car and see if it's straight enough to be happy. Excuse the rain outside.
But right, okay, so we've got the mechanism back in, but we're catching about halfway down, so I've obviously bent it too far in one way or another, so I'll whip it back out. I think what's happening is I think this bar is touching this bar, so I think I need to push this out that way a bit. Well, a few more minutes straightening, guys, and no catching, coming back and forth fine. So it looks like we've recovered the mechanism without having to spend any cash. So we just got to get the glass back in, make sure it stays in the runner. Obviously it came out the runner because this went skew whiff and came forward, so that's why it's come out the runner before. So we will get the glass back on again and double check it before we put this door card back on, and we should be good to go. So door card back on. No nasty noises. All working fine, so nice cheap free fix. Right, finally got my GoPro working, so we shouldn't have all the focusing issues I've been having recording my phone recently. Hyundai i20 rear hub. Been fighting this for about 2 hours. Couldn't find the adjuster to get the drum off, because it's a disc and a drum for the handbrake. So I had to fight getting that off, and then to get the hub out, it should, all the videos I saw, you just undid the 4 bolts and basically pulled it out. Not mine, mine was absolutely seized, and as you can see by all the tools I've got out everywhere, it's taken a considerable amount of hammering and bashing to get it out, but it is now out, and we can get the new one back in and hopefully get going. But this i20 is fighting me all the way. Firstly, it didn't want to come here, did it, with BCA losing the keys for it, and then the second time them telling me it was at a different depot when I went to pick it up, and then I had the clutch issue, and now I've got this. So yeah, it's a little bit of a cow, this one. So it was a bit of a battle, but we've got the new bearing in, so, and we've got that plugged back in again, so just need to get the wheel on and see if we can get that light out, and then I'll check that I've got the handbrake set right on it. Wheel might need to come back off and adjust that again slightly if it's not set correctly. But yeah, that should have been a lot easier if this wasn't seized in. It took a lot of beating to get that to come out in the end. So yes, lubricate it beforehand, I imagine, is probably the answer. So I've been around the block, put my foot down on the brake very hard, done some emergency stops, no light, so and no code for the light anymore, so that wheel sensor seems to have done the job. Tested the handbrake's working well. Pull it up 5 or 6 notches, it won't pull away, so that's okay on that front. Torque the wheel up. Clutch pedal here, doing that thing where it's making a little bit of a springy noise at the bottom again, that went away completely the other day. But I mean, if I drive the car, it's no problem at all, drives fine. Like I say, it's just a slightly strange feeling at the bottom of the clutch. When you get to the very bottom, it's like it kind of gets stiff and then gives quickly. So not sure what that's all about. Maybe a little bit more driving, we'll see what we find out. So we've taken the bumper off the i20, a lot easier to paint it off the car and start masking the car up. We got that filler flattened down now, so we got rid of all those big gouges. I haven't gone as far as going under the return lip. I don't see the point, no one's going to see that. So we've gone round. I've used plastic primer first, and then I've got the filler primer here. So I'm going to have a couple more coats of filler primer on, and then we'll go on with the colour and then with the lacquer. But mask that up before I cover up the light. Yeah, we're not looking for absolute perfection here. If you remember, the bumper was really badly gouged all down the side here. We're looking to make it look tidy and smart. I've been pretty brave. I've only got one can of colour, one can of lacquer, so it's all going to go right tonight. Otherwise, I'm in problems. I'm trying to do it tonight to get ahead, so I can get it back on the car tomorrow, deal with the other ding, give it a clean and a tidy up, and hopefully get that out for sale. Okay, we've got a little bit of a problem. They've sent me 1K paint and 2K clear. 2K lacquer. I wanted 2K colour, that's why I only ordered 1 can, because 2K gives better coverage. So I only had the 1 can, I was kind of committed to it, so I've had to go with it. How good it's going to be remains to be seen, because I did struggle for having enough paint to give the coverage I wanted. I had to concentrate a lot of the colour in the areas I'd done the filler on, and kind of just dust up into some other areas. I don't know, it's given me the evenest finish, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It may well have to be done again, depending on how bad it is. Difficult to tell with the light at the moment. But that's the colour coat on. I'm going to wait a little bit longer before I put the lacquer on, and to ensure that everything's sort of evaporated off. Being 1K, it takes a bit longer. If this was 2K, I could have put the lacquer on within probably about 10 minutes of putting the colour on, but I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer on this now, which isn't great when it's late at night anyway. But I've tried to dust up into these areas without actually putting too much fresh paint on, because they're where they're going to meet the body. So I'm trying to keep, I don't want to put too much paint on the corners that are going to meet the body to the old paint. So that's why it kind of goes off a little bit in that direction. But again, I've got to remind myself this is only going to be a probably £1,800, 2,000 at the most car. So as long as it doesn't look outrageously bad, we'll have to live with it. Well, the lacquer's on, we got it done with 1 can. And it looks like we've got a good even finish with it. Got a nice bit of sparkle in our metallic. Hopefully not too much sparkle compared to the factory stuff. Obviously this will have a little bit of a flat back. It's not too bad though, actually. I've avoided getting really any crud in it at all. My only real concern is evenness of the metallic from having the 1K rattle can. It didn't get that great coverage, but it doesn't look too bad actually. It's looking all right. Like I say, very minor amounts of trash in the paint. I could probably, to be honest, get away with not flatten it back. We'll have to see. Is that a bit dry there? No, I've got lacquer on that as well. It's all right. Following morning on the Hyundai bumper after it's dried overnight. Looks all right. I think that's going to do us nicely. Again, I didn't take the paint right the way up to here, so hopefully we aren't going to have too much of a stand out against the old paint. It looks a little bit darker to me, but we won't know till we pull the car in and check it over. But the finish isn't bad actually. So you've got a very minor amount of trash in. A little quick pass over will sort that out, to be honest, if I decide to do it at all. Sometimes you're better off leaving it well enough alone. To be honest, it's only that tiny bit there. All this is really doesn't have any trash in it at all. We've got a good reflection as well. Get it on the car. So remember the dent in the front wing? Got my hand in behind it. Give it a tweak and it's popped straight out. So what I've got to do is T-cut the scrape mark off it, but we no longer have a ding in that front wing. Yeah, let's just take the mud guard off, get my hand in behind, pop straight back out again. So beautiful. There we go. If we get the machine polish on it, I'll probably get a bit more of that out, but we've certainly done away with the big old dent there in the front wing, which is a big bonus. So we've got a bumper back on the i20, looking good. Like I say, I think it's ever so slightly darker, but not a massive problem. And we've got that ding out the front wing, so that's a lot better. So now we just give it mother of all cleans, and then she's ready for a photo shoot. As regards the clutch side of things, again, I've driven it today without any problems. What I'm going to probably do is put it in car care on Monday, because Malcolm's back on Monday, and Malcolm knows a lot about these Hyundai clutches and the adjustment on them, so I might have him look at the adjustment, and that's in between I do a bit of YouTube myself and have a look into it. But yeah, I think 1995 for this one, but let's get it all cleaned up and get it photographed. Let's crack on. Smells a bit smoky in this one, so I'm giving everything a good clean off with the G101, all the plastics, and giving a scuff up with a brush. The seats I've doused in the G101, I'll go with the drill brush in a bit. Just you can see sort of like slight tarriness coming off some of the plastics here. So if I do all this, I should get rid of the odour and also have it looking lovely and minty inside. I've just actually taken the brush to the entire headliner because it was a bit yellowy, and I got a lot off it. It smells a lot nicer now as well. Again, quite a bit of effort, but worth doing if you can. It's going to make it smell a lot less smoky and look better. Right guys, so the i20 is all cleaned up and photographed, ready to go up for sale, and I have to say I think she looks really smart now. The interior was a pig. I spent a lot of time cleaning that interior. Excuse the noise. It was very dirty inside. It needed a lot of hoovering in the nooks and crannies, and I had to go over the seats twice, but now they've all come up lovely, and the smells of the cigarettes is a lot less present. So yeah, she's come up really nicely. This side was always pretty straight. We had all the scrapes and dings on the bumper, didn't we? So we painted the bumper, and then we had that ding in the front wing there, which I've taken out. So the only thing we really got left is a small ding there. So, but so I think it's going to be under £2,000. I think it's a really smart looking little car. I've just driven it again. I've got no problem at all with the clutch. Like I say, the only thing you got is at the very bottom of travel, this kind of slight hesitation, then releases. But in terms of how the actual clutch engages and how it drives, it's fine. So I do think it's pedal related, but we'll have a little bit more into that. But yeah, now she's ready to get up for sale. I wonder if she'll sell as quickly as all the other stuff has.